what would Sir Duncan do to a man who failed in such a way as to have taken his wife's eye? Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Sir Duncan the Small, the Prince of Dragonflies. And here we see before us the great castle of Winterfell, the home of House Stark. And why are we here? Well, it is because we have accepted the Blade Dark Sister from Bloodraven himself. And now, with that blade in hand, it is a legitimizing mark of our Targaryen heritage and our right therein to rule the Seven Kingdoms from the Iron Throne. And though Sir Duncan might not be the type of man who wishes this mantle, he is an honorable man, and he understands that if he does not accept it, that the realm will find itself in even more danger and greater threats than simply Blackfire's roam. For something lies beyond the wall to the north, and it is not just wildlings. But regardless of all of that, we do need to gain support to push for the throne. And that's going to be difficult considering the fact that, well, a lot of these realms, such as even our cousin King Edwyle, as you can see, are naming themselves as kings. Now, consider that mechanics play a role in this. We don't, I wouldn't necessarily consider all of these different realms to, have called themselves kings just yet. Is the House Aaron Lord here, Jasper, does he consider himself a king, or is he just calling himself a lord? The mechanics of the game, of the mod, make it so that if he's independent, his title is king. But it's entirely possible that some of them might not necessarily have taken up that title. The Tully, maybe, but, King Roger, does he consider himself a king? Possibly. Anyways, just take that with a grain of salt because it's just a mechanical thing, and I do believe that some of these independent lords would still probably be calling themselves lords. They might not yet have the audacity to call themselves king, considering that it's only been, not that long since the Targaryens ruled. And yeah, that is going to be interesting. Now, you will have noticed here that the Blackfires are facing, well, they are facing a lot of trouble, or Blackfire King Aemon here. There's another Blackfire King. Yeah, facing several wars. I did have to go and prod the AI a little bit to start doing some fights. So the Vale and the Stormlands, I believe, what else do we have? Dorne, are all fighting to take their land back. It just makes sense that they would at some point. Not to mention, Meleys is also pushing for his own claim as well. So I just thought that it would be pretty fitting if at some point some wars started breaking up, because the AI wasn't really doing it. To that end, I've also given Meleys the Conqueror trait, just kind of giving him a little bit more of a boost, hopefully, to doing some conquering. So that's the idea anyways. Had to push the AI a little bit because they weren't doing much. But with all that aside, we do have to go and speak to our cousin and see if he will back our cause. And it looks like, oof, that is not very, yeah, he is not particularly in favor of supporting us here. And I can imagine why, no doubt, because he is enjoying himself as the King of the North. This character, I do suspect, would be calling himself King of the North by this point. They've essentially been abandoned by the rule of the Targaryens, and despite the fact that we're cousins, Well, I mean, take a look at his traits. Gluttonous, sure, trusting, but gluttonous and rude doesn't strike me as a particularly honorable man, nor as somebody who, like, this to me speaks as somebody who just doesn't really care about what others think, and just maybe not necessarily selfish, but more concerned with himself. So, yeah, and that kind of reflects here. He will accept, but I wonder if he accepts on the condition, you know, he'll send us troops to go and deal with the south here, but I wonder if he suspects, or if we have to make some sort of agreement that the north will remain and keep its independence. I don't know. I don't know if we would accept that even. I wonder if we could possibly. I don't think we could arrange for a marriage. Yeah, I don't know if that was part of the deal, that the North will remain independent, because I do think Sir Duncan understands that we need to bring the North in order to protect from whatever's going to come beyond the wall. So that part of the deal may remain unspoken, but we might need to offer up, you know, we might need to get a marriage arranged if we want to bring the North back. So just something to consider. But he will possibly accept our request for legitimate support. So the North might provide us with some troops at the very least. Welcome, cousin. So glad you came, says King Edwile of the North, as I am ushered in secret in front of him. We have much to discuss, but first let us settle the matter of selection of your efforts. Well, we're obviously going to go for the hegemony of the Iron Throne. I hear the Kingdom of Blackfire Pretend is quite nice. Yeah, the thing is, if we go for this title, I guess I don't know how that really actually works. I suppose we'll just go for that title anyways, even if it might mess up some stuff mechanically because it doesn't exist and it's very difficult to make. But we can offer you gold and our finest warriors in exchange for, let us say, half the yearly income of the Iron Throne. We cannot wait to see the head of the Blackfires on the end of a spear. Oof, okay. Well, the most important thing, dazzle him with your brilliance. Well, I suppose we will try to negotiate the deal here. And we do convince him. Yes, this could work. With the old god's grace, it will work. How come you did not come to us sooner, cousin? Surely you must work on your timing if you are to succeed. He has promised modest support, 600 gold and 1,000 elite troops. After seizing the hegemony, we will have to pay 2 times every 2 years. Yeah, that's rough, but I cannot bleed my realm dry. I'll try to decrease the amount of payments by 1. I suppose. Let us try. And we do convince him. You'll still have to pay. Yeah, okay. So still more is needed. Well, 1,000 elite troops. Maybe we can get more here. Glory is worth more than gold. Let's try for that. And we do convince him again. We're being quite successful in this, actually. 900 gold and 1,500 elite troops. Still more is needed. I don't... Oh, man. Do we want to go one more time? 1,500 troops isn't a lot, but it is better than nothing. Let's try one more time. And we do convince him 1,200 gold and 2,000 troops. That's quite a bit. It's getting more difficult, and I don't want to push my luck. I think that this is acceptable. Sorry. 2 rulers locked in heated negotiation. One with crown on his temples, while mine are still bare. Yeah, I wonder how. I don't know if Edwile's gonna be keen to give up his crown, but we'll see. But is it the wariness I feel, that sudden weight on my head, or is the crown of the hegemony of the Iron Throne? Well, okay. The crown of the kingdom of the Iron Throne. I don't know. I keep calling it the hegemony. It's just because it's what it says here, but you guys know what I mean. It's kingdom of the Iron Throne. A grimace must have betrayed my thoughts. A fine king you will make, and soon, 4 years at most, our goal, troops in gold will see to it, and please do not worry. We will remind you if you happen to forget about your end of the agreement. Yeesh. Patience is the key. Oh, that would cancel the deal. Becoming land. Well, that's almost certainly gonna happen. But it is what it is. The future. What is this? What is the difference here? Oh, we want more time? Let's try it. Yeah, okay. So, no, we have to do it in 4 years, apparently. But we do... Did we get some troops? Legitimate army, 1,800. I thought he promised more. But that's, is what it is. We do have enough to create a men-at-arms regiment, but I don't think we'll just do that just yet. I think what we want to do is build up our camp a little bit here. Possibly get something that's going to make our troops a bit more effective. Such as a roaring campfire. Captain effectiveness might end up becoming useful. Let's get that building. We've got our troops now from the north. All right, well, what's the first step going to be? We need to get some more support. Could we try, I mean, maybe House Blackwood might be willing, considering this is our uncle. That could be a wise course of action. Could we maybe head down to White Harbor, get a ship that could drop us off? Well, we'd have to go through Frey lands, which wouldn't be ideal. Are we going to be able to get some support from House Aaron? Possibly. I mean, Jasper Aaron is content, chaste, and forgiving. And his son here, Prince John Aaron, or John Aaron, is the one that we know of in Game of Thrones. The one whose death sparks a lot of shit. So, these are good people. I think we might want to go to House Aaron for support. So let's head to White Harbor here. It's gonna cost some camp supplies, but we shall do so. One thing that I imagine with those 1,800 troops comes another character as well, and that is a Maester Lockhart here, who is well, I imagine he found himself in Winterfell through some escapade or another, and well, I suppose he was essentially sent with us to act as our maester here. He's a good character who, you know, has served well as a healer, obviously, as we can see, but hopefully he will serve us well as a healer in the future, helping out personal rituals. With another move on the morrow, my port is once more preoccupied. I enter my personal quarters to find my daughter Jenny covered in dry grass from playing outside, attempting to pack my things for me. The girl smiles, racing forward for a hug. A single grimy hand holds the crumpled, ruined form of my favorite hat. Well, we're a good guy, so we'll go along with it. I think we love our children. Why wouldn't we, you know? All right, let's go to White Harbor here. No real troubles along the way. We've gained some fame. Coming with an entourage this time. Well, I imagine that along with the troops, the King of the North, he's probably sending us these troops. He's like, yeah, go and die down in the south, and I've fulfilled my obligations to my blood and to, you know, whatever lineage of the king or legitimacy still exists. Then he's like, here, take these ships, just get out of here. We'll do our own thing. He doesn't expect that we'll ever be back. That's how I see it. So with that in mind, we'll probably want to resupply on food while we're here with the money we've got, which we can do. Maybe we can hire possibly get some troops in White Harbor. I mean, They've probably got some armored horsemen here, some knights. Maybe we can bring some knights along with us. Sure, let's get our first group of knights built up. This will be our first little regiment. 5 of them. We'll start with 5. We'll recruit more once we're ready. But I think that we're gonna want to head, yeah, to the Vale. So can we get here? We're not gonna want to go that way. We're definitely gonna want to go over the water here. It's quite a bit of danger. I still don't think that's the smartest way to go. Let's customize the route once more and head by ship probably to, we go to Gulltown? Okay, not quite. We got to do one more stop. I think we got to go there. It's a little more in provisions, but this is actually probably the more logical way to do things. So I think that's what we are gonna do. Actually, let's just go to Gulltown first, so that we can resupply once again once we get there. So we're gonna customize the route. We're gonna go like that. There we go. That doesn't require too much, although there is quite a bit of danger on the route. We should probably hire some experienced captains. Oh wow, and then suddenly 0 danger. Guess all you needed was some captains. All right, let's head into the Vale with the hopes that we will gain ourselves some support there. Difficult to say. How's things going over here? Obviously not great for King Aemon, who is beset on all sides. We'll see if he's able to somehow pull off something of a victory. We did get a new perk, which we're going to throw over here to Travel Companion. It's just going to be good. All right, so we've made it to Gulltown. We'll grab some supplies while we're here. Supplies are this way. All right, let's grab some supplies while we're here. Decent amounts of provisions. And we'll basically, while we're in the Vale, we're gonna also be, sending out a call to any various like lords, knights, second sons, anyone who's willing to join us should indeed join us. One thing I will say, you will notice that Sir Duncan the Tall is once again in the armor of the Kingsguard. Now, I do suspect that Sir Duncan may have protested against donning the armor of the Kingsguard once more, for he feels that he is not worthy of it. However, we did insist. He is the Lord Commander of our Kingsguard, and well, he will need to continue to serve in that position going forward. So protest as he might, we basically demanded that he put his armor on once more and act as our Kingsguard. So we're gonna be, well, I suppose we must not be a commander. Yeah, okay. We're gonna ask, like I said, we're looking for various nobles, anyone willing to join us in our quest here. There may be some, I'm sure, but let's go and see here as we go to the Vale if we will be able to get any support from House Aaron. That would be pretty good. The Mother House of Maris. Is that a real... Not really sure. Don't know that bit of lore. Oh, look at this. Long after most have gone to sleep for a night, I still find myself seated by the campfire. What's wrong? Duncan asks as he sits down next to me with a concerned expression on his face. At first, I don't know what to say, but as I start talking, it just comes out naturally. All my stress, all my worries, my day-to-day issues. I just keep thinking about the time when my brother Jaehaerys succumbed to his inherent weakness. I can't help but wonder if I should have done things differently. Yeah. Well, he died in the prisons of the Blackfires as well, so yeah, no wonder we can't think about. What about you? Yeah, let's listen to the troubles of Duncan as well. Perhaps he tells us of the weight of watching Egg, you know, or not being there when Egg died. Location of the Battle of 7 Stars. Ooh, that's kind of cool as well. Fortified knowledge. The high altitude and brisk air of stone is a very refreshing quality as we traverse the local hill fort. The soldiers in the valley below appear to be practicing in some rare type of training I haven't seen before. Would you like to join, my lord? Says Arlen Garnet. I'm always up for a challenge. Well, this could be useful. We could gain rough terrain expert, which is not honestly that bad to have. We've already got organizer and open terrain expert. So yeah, not too bad. All right, and we gain, that's nice. We're actually gonna be good on all sorts of different terrains. So we're actually gonna be a half decent commander. But let's see what happens here. Oh, plenty in common. For Conwy and Powell, their common interest in obeying the duly appointed laws of the land, indeed any land, have been proved to be a good bonding agent. Sir Conwy Chafford and Sir Powell Pemford becoming good friends. That's we like to see it. Encourage the friendship. Yeah, why not? And there we go. Look at them. The two of our companions here forming a bit of a friendship. We do love to see it. All right, can we make it to the Eyrie? I imagine indeed that we have. All right, so while we're here in the Eyrie, is Lord Aaron here? Because that is going to be the question, I suppose. He does appear to be here in the Eyrie. Can we... Oh, he's at war. I see. So we can't request support while he's at war. Your beard's sticking out of your helmet there, Lord Eldrick. Okay, well, I guess we have to wait here in the Eyrie. Perhaps negotiating, perhaps, you know, preparing. Lord Aaron or King Aaron or whatever he calls himself. Probably, I don't know. Something tells me that Jasper Aaron here has not taken the title of king. Some of these others, for sure. The Lannisters, the Tyrells, the princes of Dorne obviously still consider themselves, you know, princes. Obviously, Storm King Lionel. I'm a little iffy. I don't know if the Tullys would take up a mantle of kingship. They never really held it, so they might not necessarily think that they have that title. And Stefan Tully doesn't necessarily seem like a particularly ambitious type of man. But something tells me that Jasper Aaron or Aaron still goes by Lord Aaron and not King Aaron. That's just my gut feeling. Let me know in the comments below if you think differently. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here, is that he's still Lord Aaron despite the fact that he doesn't have a king ruling over him. So yeah, that's what my hunch tells me. While we are negotiating with the Aarons and trying to make plans and make peace, he's obviously hosting us here. That much I don't think anyone would deny. We could visit the castle holding. Let us have a look at the castle. We're gonna go up there with Victor Branchfoot, forcing him to walk a lot of stairs on his one leg because we are apparently an asshole. Let us go and take a look at the Eyrie. Visit the local training grounds. Have a training session. 150, that is not worth the money. You could have this guy join our camp. He's not worth that either. We could look for some Valeman soldiers. Another dumb guy, though. The tent camp at the edge of the Eyrie, or near the Eyrie, is filled to the brim with soldiers and combatants, mostly lower Valemen. We could get a few knights to join us. That's kind of cool. Ride with me for Sir Duncan? Yeah, all right. Let's do it. Let's get some Valeman knights here. So you'll see now that... Yeah, look at that. So we started out with 5. And now we are at 32. So we gained, what, 27 Vale Knights there have joined us. That's actually kind of cool. I like that it's a small number as well and not just like a massive number. Got a roaring campfire built. We should definitely keep building up our camp. I probably want to build something like a heavy cavalry captain. Yeah, so nightly barding drills is going to be useful because we're probably going to rely on some heavy cavalry, so I'm going to get that going. Do we have, yeah, we've got a master at arms, Amos Bracken. You know what? I'm going to quickly go and change up his thing. I don't know why he's still wearing the mask. That I think it's bugged out for me. The disfigured characters, but we're going to go and get him wearing some armor since he has earned his spurs, so to speak, here. So yeah, I'll be back in a moment. All right, so Sir Amos Driftface here. Well, we won't be able to see his face. I couldn't get the mask off. I could hide it with a helmet here. So that's the best that we can do for him. We won't possibly ever know how disfigured he truly is. But yeah, he is currently serving. Well, it's surprising that he's serving as our master at arms, despite some of the other guys we got in the camp, you know, sir. But some of these, you know what? I'm tempted to switch. He's gonna lose some opinion of us. But I feel like Amos he's too young to be the master at arms. Although, this guy's not really that good either. Let's, I know we're probably hurting our standing with some of these. Sir Powell Pemford, he's just not really, he's not particularly good at that. Amos is good. I mean, Master at Arms, what do they do? Keeping the fighting men in line, both at camp, discipline, and training. He's only 17, though. You know, he's a kid who grew up in the camp. It feels a little bit of a stretch to me that that the people like guys like Powell Pemford and some of these other, you know, strong and experienced warriors would be letting a 17-year-old boss him around. So even though he's actually not quite as good, I'm gonna put Powell Pemford in that position. Let's get Victor back as one of our Sworn Shields, and we'll get Amos as one of our Sworn Shields as well. That feels a little bit more fitting for a young man of his age. We do also have Jamos. Jamos the Wolf Child. He isn't a knight yet, or a squire, but we could make him a squire. And I think that it's here at the Eyrie, when all of these other knights are joining us, that Jamos asks if he can serve as our squire. And I think we will accept. We'll teach the Wolf Child the ways of a knight, and we'll see how well he learns them. I guess we can technically see that right now. Let's train the squire. As the mentor for my squire Jamos, it is my responsibility to train him in the ways of knighthood. Well, we should probably teach him first and foremost about chivalry. So let's see if he learns well. For what separates a knight from a sellsword? The oaths of chivalry themselves. He has proved himself a good and honorable squire with a chivalrous spirit. Hey, good kid. An excellent training session. Good for you, kid. All right. How's I guess this war could be going on for some time. But what can we do? Is there anything that we can do in the meantime? We could work off some stress. Are we stressed? No, we're not. We could nurture, perhaps nurture our children. They say children react more than anyone else to the places they find themselves. It's fortunate for my daughter Willow, then, that she finds herself in the company of the most determined loyalists, elite bodyguards, and worthwhile hirelings that have been able to gather. A fine environment for a young girl to grow up in, and one where she seems determined to take its many lessons to heart. Such ambition is only natural. Perhaps we could consider another path. Sure, she can be ambitious. Or diligent. That's actually, I mean, she's 6 years old and she's already got 10. Oh, man. She's got 10 diplomacy with a base of 1. It takes me a moment to recognize Mistress Jenny. She is so bruised and swollen, she barely looks human. As I grab her hand, my wife attempts to speak, but no sound passes her lips. The loathsome physician is standing in the corner of the room, anxiously wringing his hands. Maester Lockhart, what did you do to my wife? Ill? One-eyed? Wounded? To my beloved wife? Wow. Oof. So she was sick, and the maester tried to heal her. Oh no. Act of tyranny. Oh, this is actually a tough decision. What would Sir Duncan do to a man who failed in such a way as to have taken his wife's eye? That is a good question. A question I think I shall leave to you guys. I am going to end the episode here, and I will let you all determine the fate of Maester Lockhart. What would Duncan do in this situation? Yeah, we are compassionate, but this is our soulmate, and yeah, I don't know. Arrest him, exile him. Tough question. That's why I'm leaving it in your hands. Until the next one, Wanderers, thank you for watching.